You're listening to Boobies and Noobies, brought to you by the Frolic Podcast Network. Today's podcast is sponsored by Best Women's Erotica of the Year, Volume 5, edited by Rachel Kramer Bussell, published by Cleus Press. This anthology's theme is outrageous and features 21 brand new sexy erotica and erotic romance stories by authors including Sierra Simone, C.D. Reese, Sabrina Soule, Caridad Pinheiro, Bollycar Joswell, Justine Elliott, Alexa J. Day, Jane Raynaud, and more. Get ready to be swept away by the sexiest business deal ever. Break the rules in a future world where skin-on-skin contact is forbidden, and discover the art of getting off by phone sex. Yes, please. From the mermaid sex I know all of us have been missing, to historical passion, to the first Latina U.S. president finding intimacy again after becoming a widow, this book has something for every reader. From happy endings to pure lust. Best Women's Erotica of the Year, Volume 5 is available in print, ebook, and audiobook, and is on sale now wherever books are sold. Special thanks to Rachel Kramer Bussell for sending me my own copy. I cannot wait to read it. Find out more at bweoftheyear.com. And now, on with the show. Welcome to Boobies and Noobies, the podcast that asks novice romance readers to think outside the dick in a box and brave the unbridled world of erotica. I'm your host, Kelly Reynolds, and today I'm thrilled to welcome back Boobsmas guest, back for more boobies, Krystal, and her lovely roommate, Cambria. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're recording in my apartment, but if we were in your apartment right now, which is super cute.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, they live in this adorable place in North Hollywood. Not to give too much information away about my guests. No addresses. What would you guys be doing in your apartment right now?
Cleaning, probably.
Good for you.
Eating. I might be watching TV. We might be playing Pounds.
You might be playing what?
Not right now, though. You're working on your project.
Oh, yeah, I'd be working on my project.
Wait, what's this game?
It's competitive solitaire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait.
Do you know it as
second.
nerds?
Well, I'm just like, that just sounds so funny because I'm like, competitive solitaire. Yeah. Isn't solitaire meant to be played alone?
Yes, this is where the aces go in the middle and everybody fights for the aces. Everybody has their own deck of cards. So
somebody was like,
there's 4 2 of clubs, but there's 1 ace of clubs. Who's gonna get the 2 of clubs first? And yeah.
I'm just grateful for the mofo that stepped up and was like, "F your solitaire game and your introverted ass. You're about to like
and what's
play with people."
What do they call it? What's it called?
Pounce.
Pounce.
We know it as Pounce.
Okay.
Some folk out there also categorize it as nerds.
Yes.
But it is Pounce.
It's Pounce.
It's Pounce, people.
But yeah.
Oh my God. I had no idea that was a thing.
Oh, it's such
amazing.
a beautiful thing. We might play that at our
We
game
really
night.
might.
We're going to play competitive solitaire at game night.
I mean, it's one of the potential games.
It's a potential. It's a possibility.
You know.
I mean, you got me intrigued. Like, I never knew that was like an
it's a
option.
thing.
Oh yeah, we'll teach you. Don't worry.
Oh
Because
my
I
God.
swear, you just need a deck of cards. Every person needs a deck of cards.
Should I bring my own deck?
Yeah.
We have plenty.
We have so many.
Okay.
We literally have, I think I alone have maybe 60 cards.
That's
Do you
also
buy
their
like
thing.
themed ones? Like themed decks of cards?
I have them from Russia. I have them from Poland. I have them from France. I have them from Amsterdam. I collect cards.
So this is like when you travel, you pick up cards and
And
bring
when
them
other
home.
people travel, I ask them to get me a deck of cards.
I love that everybody has that thing too. What's your Krystal? I know you travel a lot too. Like, what's something you bring home? Or are you like, I need to stop bringing things home?
I know, right? Yeah. It initially was like clothes, and then I thought about shot glasses, but I guess it kind of turned into trinkets because like we also have a worldly theme for our apartment.
Yeah.
So like I'll try and bring like an art piece or a scarf or just something that
Well, that's nice then
like
too, because
something
then
that
you're
will
not
happen.
like my dumbass who like went everywhere hardware and is like, I'm going to bring home a fucking mug. No. And now I have like an entire cabinet full of mugs. Yeah. And I keep seeing cute ones like, you know, at Home Goods. And I'm like, you can't buy it. Yeah. Like you already bought a million.
Just start your display. Go around the entire apartment, you know what I mean? And put your shelves up.
Like, but I don't want to be, I like don't want to be that woman that like has like the collectible spoons, you know, and they're just like out on display in like cupboards that have glass so people can't use the spoons or touch the spoons.
But they're there.
Right? So like I've done mugs and I love them and I use them, but I don't think I can do more.
Did you?
So
have you ever, you went to Morning Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Chico?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts of their display. Like,
was all the mugs.
Yeah, the mugs. Like, but those were actual, like, regulars, too.
Right.
That would bring their mug in and have their mug there. And,
classy. No, my new one is I've started doing Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
So, but again, cute. I'm like, those get put away, though, for, like,
a while.
You know, 11 months of the year.
Nice, though, because then you can, like, rekindle those memories. And,
That's
like,
true.
Reflect and, like, have that cute moment. I would be all about that life, actually. I might steal that.
Okay.
Credit to Kelly Reynolds.
The only problem is sometimes when you go places, people don't have ornaments out, like, all year long. Like, they do at, like, I feel like a lot of,
I would do that. that would be me.
Yeah.
Krystal, what the hell's in your bathroom? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, and then magnets I feel like you can't go wrong with.
Magnets are good.
Yeah, because you always need more magnets, right?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
And they're not going to take up cupboard space.
No.
So there is that. Oh, man. Okay, so now that you've educated me on the ways of competitive solitaire, and I've bitched about mugs, please tell me what's going on in your lives. Like, I know Krystal is like an actor, dancer, and Cambria, you're a performer as well. So what's coming up in, you know, your fabulous lives?
So I have basically, like, my routine has calmed down and flattened out in terms of working like crazy. So I went back to Orange, actually. I'm 2 days in. Orange Theory Fitness for all my people out there. And it's just, you know, a lot of people say it is a lot of money every month to fork up, but it's also like the foundation of everything for me. Like it bleeds into everything, and it's just like, you get what you pay for. It's quality, and it's community, and it's a family, and it's just all things that are beautiful. So that's been a nice win as of late, and I'm just working and trying to have like work-life balance and make all these beautiful memories with all these people that I love.
It's the goal for everybody, right? Is finding that balance.
Yeah. But I've also kind of like tried to establish, I think the next step for me is creating like the gypsy lifestyle that I've always seen for myself. So I've been playing with the idea of actually getting certified for massage therapy. Now that work is good. And so I'd probably like ideally keep Hillstone as my main gig. And then massage on the
You're
side.
Throwing out all these names that people listening are like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, Hillstone Houston's restaurant group. Come have a nice steak with me. I'll keep you entertained.
She'll serve you up nice.
And then I thought about like working at Orange too, because if I work there part-time, then I get my membership for free.
I would want to work out with you. I feel like you would be somebody that would definitely like encourage you to like do really well, and not because like I feel like personal trainers, it's like this. You either get one or the other, and one's like, "Oh my gosh, you can do it! You're amazing," and the other one's like, "You fucking piece of shit! Like, work out harder." So, which is why I don't go to the gym. I mean, that's not the only reason, but
I'd just be that awkward one that's like twerking by your side, like cheering you on, like, "You got it, mom!"
Yes. That's everything I'm looking for. Like, more people would go to the gym if that's what they had.
I need to have my cards ready for all these listeners.
What about you, Cambria?
Right now I'm in the middle of the Playhouse West 120-hour film festival competition, where my group, we just finalized the script. We start shooting in the morning. We have 120 hours to shoot and submit a 5-minute film. It's going to be on Love for the upcoming holiday.
Yes.
And it's really exciting. It's very, so that's where I am right now. Playhouse West.
By the time this episode airs, you will have finished the film.
Yes.
And it'll be Valentine's Day when this episode airs. And then the following day is when you're screening.
Exactly.
Fabulous. So everybody who's in Los Angeles can listen and then go. Do you think you guys will have a link like online for us to share for the video?
Not sure. I might. If we do get a link, I'll send it to you so you can attach.
Well, hopefully we can.
Yay. We'll see.
That'd be great. Yeah. And then obviously this is our Valentine's Day episode. Yeah. So I have to ask you each, do you have plans for Valentine's Day? Do you I mean, is that something that you celebrate? Like, do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
No. I wish, but no.
You wish, but no. Okay, so single.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, no. Well, we have plans, though.
We do, but it's not Valentine's Day.
It's the eve before, though.
Right.
Galentine's.
We're doing a game night for Galentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there'll be more than gals there. Other than that, no.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, like, it's just another day. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those people where I'm like, why do we need this one day to like celebrate what we should be celebrating all the time?
Yeah, I know.
But I'm like, there's also chocolate that like goes on sale the next day. So I'm more about like February 15th when like all the chocolate's like on sale. Like just like November 1st. Right. I'm like, that's my time.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes.
But no, I don't know. It's just another day for me. But I do like that it's on President's Weekend too, I guess, because like I work at a bunch of schools and like all of them have it off. So I'm like, ooh, okay, 3-day weekend for color. Yeah. Now, that's one day in February, but February obviously marks Black History Month.
Yes.
This is the second episode we're releasing as part of our Black History Month series. So I'll ask you both, is this something, what does Black History Month mean for you?
I mean, it's a time of remembrance. It's a time of celebration. But also, I don't know. I mean, because the whole thing about one of the big things is, like, of course, they give us the shortest month of the year.
I know.
And it's a leap year, so we get an extra day this time, right? Yeah, it's a leap year. Yes.
Preach.
So, but it's still, like, every time Black History Month, of course, I'm happy because, like, yes, we get to celebrate all of the important cultural figures that we've had throughout the history of America. Yeah. But also, I'm like, it's kind of like a backhanded kind of thing because I'm like, you gave us literally the shortest month. And why couldn't we have January? That's MLK's birthday, but we can, and I think Malcolm X or something, but I don't remember. Yeah. But I'm like, why not? But you can't give us January because that's giving too much. So, I don't know. It's mixed feelings.
Fair enough. Absolutely. What do you think, Krystal?
Yeah, I'm all about, like, celebrating, reflecting. That's kind of my jam anyway. And I think it's fair to also spend time on, like, the growth that we've experienced. We're now in a time where we're just seeing, like, full black casts in movies now. Yeah. And that is so sexy. And, it's something definitely to be celebrated and excited about. And, people are taking more of a stance. And we have so many more advocates that are even in the industry that are speaking out, during their acceptance speeches, for awards. Phoenix. Yes, Joaquin.
Oh my God, he laid it out.
He laid it out. Yeah,
got me. Yeah, I loved that. That you never know. The thing about Joaquin Phoenix, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
Oh man,
and like it's never guaranteed like it's going to be profound or great or something. But I feel like I'm just always interested. Like, ooh, okay, here it comes. Like, what's coming?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he definitely laid it out. That was at BAFTAs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is even funnier that he was like telling all these British folk like, let me talk to you about marginalized people.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I'm just about celebrating. I'm just still waiting for the day where like black people run the universe. It's gonna be so fun. Like, can you imagine the world that we would live in? Like, just a bunch of dance and music and great
it'd be so much more fun.
and art.
Yes.
It's so true. No, I look forward to that day. Yes, like that is what the universe I want to live in. So I'm all about it. Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
That's it. It's Wakanda meets the kingdom where, and this is my nerdy romance reference for you guys. Wakanda meets the kingdom where Alyssa Cole's series takes place. She has like this modern royalty series that basically always gives me like Wakanda vibes, and I'm like, oh, this is where I want to be. So until the day, we'll just settle for now.
The shortest month of the year.
The shortest month of the year. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
And we have to share it with Valentine's Day. Like, that's the other thing, but whatever.
Which means everywhere is pink and red all fucking month long.
Like, okay.
And then the minute Valentine's Day is over, everything turns green.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
So great. Yeah. So great.
Right after Christmas. Great. We're doing great.
Yeah,
we're doing
all
great.
Good. Are those really like the only colors? Like there's so much green and red throughout the year. I'm like,
calm down.
Red on July 4th as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why red? I just whatever. It's a whole other thing. But
that's none of my business. Turns to the side and sips tea.
Oh gosh! But we will continue our celebration of Black History Month with our continuation of reading amazing romance by Black authors about Black characters. Starting with our book today that we're going to be discussing. And today's is a novella titled "Just One More" by Jodie Slaughter. And I always giggle when I read her name because I just find it so amusing that someone with the last name Slaughter writes romance.
Yes, right. Yes.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
She said, go ahead, make assumptions.
Yeah, exactly. And this book is out today, Valentine's Day. Obviously, we're recording a few days early. We were lucky enough to receive an advanced reader's copy of the book from Jodie Slaughter. Thank you, Jodie. But it is out today on Valentine's Day. So if you do want to read it first before listening into all of our spoiler discussion, fantastic. You can find it on Amazon for $2.99 Kindle edition. Or you can just dive right on in with us, which is what we're going to do now. So let me give everyone the Amazon synopsis before we continue our chat. Tattoo artist Whitney Harris loves Valentine's Day. The bright colors, giant hearts, and sugary sweet coating that seems to cover the world on February 14th makes her feel all kinds of warm and fuzzy inside. She may be more festive than the average person, but her plans for her long weekend are pretty tame. As long as she gets to stay in her bed, marathon a ton of romantic comedies, and eat at least 3 of her favorite pink heart cupcakes, she'll count it as a win. I just laugh about the cupcake part because that is like an ongoing thing in this story.
Damn cupcakes.
Like this girl never gets her fucking cupcakes. Like
for real.
Even in the end, he buys them. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I was waiting. I was like, get your cupcakes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The very last thing she expects is for a handsome stranger to completely upend all of that. The only thing Victor Grant enjoys more than being a barber is Valentine's Day. Does he? I don't remember him like really loving it.
He's all about it too. Oh. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Why did
it's
I
both
miss
their
that?
jams.
I did read it like a week ago,
yeah.
so maybe that's it. But I knew that because he goes, okay, we'll get to it. It's coming.
Yeah.
For him, it's all about the experience of romance and the possibility of forever. Okay, no. This is sounding more and more familiar. The man loves love, and he is determined to be a part of his own great love story someday. Even if that means taking a few losses along the way when things don't work out. Just when he thinks his Valentine's Day has turned into a total bust, a beautiful stranger crashes into his life and suddenly makes his long weekend a lot more interesting. A near-disastrous first meeting brings them together, but with both chemistry and desire running high, one sexy night together doesn't feel nearly enough like true satisfaction. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I will say, just judging from our pre-recording chat, it does seem like this is going to be one of those episodes that's few and far between where we're going to have a difference of opinion. Yes. And I am all for some discussion and a little bit of debate. So it is okay. I will say, and I'm not sure how familiar, I know, Krystal, you read a Boobsmas book with us. Our first Boobsmas season, 2018. Since then, have you read any other romance?
Honestly, no.
I'm not here to shame you.
No,
it's okay if you haven't.
I have not.
You're
and
a busy
this
lady.
this was an extreme for me because we were so gypped on any kind of sexual scene with the book that I read. So I'm going on the other end of the spectrum here.
Well, and remind me if I'm wrong. I want to say the other romance that we read was a historical romance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a historical Christmas romance. that was very closed door, very PG, and then to jump into this, very different. And then Cambria, what about you? Like, what's your reading experience with romance?
I don't read romance, honestly, but I don't read a lot. I read plays, of course, because that's the job. But Harry Potter and plays, that's pretty much it that I've read, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, so you were coming in very much a newbie.
And Jane Eyre. I love Jane Eyre.
Oh, okay. Which is honestly considered like one of the foundations of romance. So, I mean, it's definitely there. But clearly very different than what we read.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Jane Eyre would have died. Ooh.
Yeah.
Fainted.
Yeah, she would have swooned.
Swooned,
you know, right onto a fainting couch. Yes. Great. So you both are coming into this fairly fresh as far as romance goes. Krystal, you know, having had a little bit of the historical. Yeah. But I would say that I would categorize this more as an erotic fiction,
yes.
Erotic romance, or an erotica as opposed to romance.
Oh, yes.
And that's not to say that it doesn't have a happy ending, because it does, but that's the one thing about erotica versus romance is that erotica, you're not guaranteed a happy ending.
Oh, okay.
It's more about this sexual journey as opposed to this romantic relationship.
Yeah. Right.
But sometimes there's romance too. So that is something that this couple, and this is something that maybe this is something you guys liked or didn't like about it, but it is a story that is much more focused on this sexual connection between Whitney and Vic. Because it really, and this is something I liked just because it's not what I typically read. It felt like it was like a Tinder hookup, and then like they were just gonna go their separate ways at the end of the story. So let me start by asking you both, what did you like about the book? And I feel like it's a novella, right? Like it's shorter. It was on the shorter end, right? I would call it a novella, not a novel.
I read it super quickly, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I devoured it for sure. So, what did you like about the book?
I liked the bathroom scene, like when she was shaving him. I thought that was, for me, the most real moment.
I liked that a lot too. Yeah.
That's what I liked. That was the highlight for me.
The shaving this scene, where she's like, "Let me cut your hair," and he's a barber, so I feel like I used to work in a hair salon, and I would always think like the people who cut hair, or like it's the same for like manicurists. I feel like I'm like, you must have to really trust someone to like cut your hair and do your hair. So the fact that he was willing to let her do his hair, I'm like, ooh.
There was hesitance, but then he was like, oh God.
Right.
It was like a nice little...
That's his like calling card. Is I'm not going to get my hair cut from someone who looks messed up, you know? So he's like, okay, he put his money in her hands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
that was, and I just liked it. It was just easy. It was natural. I was like, okay, I like this. Like it was the most grounded part of the story to me.
Yeah, it's like a nice moment of intimacy too, but like very subtle intimacy. Like it's not in your face. And I think overall that's something I did like about this book was it's very subtle. Like, I mean, these people meet in an Uber ride and then decide that they're going to like go hook up basically. Yeah. And they have their night together. And then the next day it's like, do you have anywhere to be? No. Do you have anywhere to be? No. Do you want to like hang out and like smoke and watch movies and fuck some more and eat some more? Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is like legit. Like this is like, this could be like an like anywhere, anytime 2020 kind of hookup sort of thing. Yeah. So I liked that it wasn't really like them dating. It was just kind of them like being together, which I feel like is a lot of like what dating is now. So I'm always a sucker for like romance that's like could happen to me. Yes,
right.
Yes. How about you, Krystal? What did you like?
I felt like it was very empowering to see how vulnerable they were from jump. Like they just met, but like when it came down to the sex, like, you know, and this could be embellishment, but taking it for what it is, I really liked how they were just like so strong in themselves and into like exploring and like having that kind of like relationship sex with each other, and they just met, but like they gonna fondle, they gonna lick the nipple, they gonna and they got in there, they got it done, and like it was just so sexy and it flowed, and it was just like, damn, if dating could really be like this, because like you know, one night stand is You know what I mean? It's just, Jackrabbit. Like, there's nothing sexy about it.
Right.
Like, for the most part. It's awkward. You know what I mean? And, like, there was just,
and then
like,
it's over. And it's done.
Yeah. And then it's like, give me, like, Instagram, and I'll follow you, and we'll never talk again. So it's like...
This is like the one-night stand that people, like, wish they had. Like,
exactly.
I have this one-night stand, but then it wasn't really a one-night stand because then... we hooked up again, so it's a 2-night stand. But then the next day, we went to brunch, and we, like, had one more night, it's one of those stories where you're like, this could happen. Like, this could for sure happen. Yeah. Like, it was very casual. This poor bitch never gets her cupcakes, which I was, like, really sad about. But I liked that was, like, an ongoing thing of, like, okay, I'll hang out with you. This is great. But...
my cupcakes.
I'm gonna need a cupcake.
Or 2, at least 3. Go me? Like,
yeah. I thought it was cute, too, that, I mean, even in the synopsis, we hear that both Vic and Whitney, they both have a thing for Valentine's Day. But I feel like his is the more kind of feminine feeling of Valentine's Day. Like, at least what we would perceive to be feminine. As opposed to hers. Like, hers is, she's like... I love the colors. I love getting myself some cupcakes, going home, getting into bed, eating them, and watching movies. Yeah. He's the one that's like, I want to live this true love story. Yes, and when they meet in their Uber ride...
That's kind of interesting. Actually.
Yeah, it's different. That's what I'm saying. Is this book, like...
I'll give you that.
There's a lot, whether you like it or not, it's different from, like, what I've read before. And he's, like... just got off of having a first date on Valentine's Day, which just sounds atrocious. Yeah, and then they, Uber in love.
I actually loved that part. That was probably my favorite scene in the whole
Uber.
book. The Uber. It was just such an awesome setup. You got homie in the fucking passenger seat with headphones, like, conked out on the window. And then,
missing everything.
Yeah, missing everything. And then, you have her, like, coming in, like, feeling awkward as fuck. And then, Vic, or no. Yeah, the other guy. Vic comes in. No.
Drunk guy.
The drunk guy comes in, and then Vic is the last one.
Drunk guy comes in and scoots Vic over to the middle.
That's right. Vic gets in first, because then they have, like, kind of their, like, flirty look, and then drunk-ass guy gets in, barfs in the car.
Fuck tonight, Valentine's Day. It was just such a...
It's a fun way to meet them.
Real current setup that,
Meet cute.
I thought it was a great start.
Meet cute, but, like, meet gross. Because there's, like, vomit,
Yeah.
I'm digging that. I can, like, see the movie. Because I'm, like, I can see them in the back. Right. I can see the guy in front who's listening to, like, music and never hears a word. Yes. So, I thought that was cute. What did you guys think of Whitney? Whitney Harris. She's a tattoo artist. Mm-hmm. She wants her cupcakes. Yes. What are our thoughts on Whitney?
I think she had all the ingredients for being a really interesting person. I mean, she's a tattoo artist. She
that's
likes
cool.
Valentine's Days for the cupcakes. And, like, she had all the ingredients, but I actually, like, never felt like I knew what her personality was. Like, she said she had all of these, I knew all of these facts about her, but her personality didn't really come across to me. So I was like, okay, I mean, I hear what you do and I hear what you like, but I don't really hear her point of view about a lot of things. So I was like, I wish they would have flushed out the characters more, because I was like, I know what you guys do, and I know that you guys find each other interesting and attractive. I know you're both attractive, and that you both have amazing sexual chemistry, but I actually don't know who you guys are, really. So that's what I was...
I think that's a good point.
When it came to that.
Yeah. And she was... I feel like this was for her and for him. They were both very, like, go with the flow. Like, just very kind of like, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, whatever. And I guess both with their characters and with just sort of, like, how the plot unfolds... My, like, one complaint about the book is there's, like, no tension whatsoever.
Yeah,
there's no conflict. Like, the biggest conflict is that in the end, they, like, walk away from each other, but fully agreeing to it of, like, we said this was going to be, like, a one-night thing. It's been a weekend thing, but it's time to walk away. And clearly they're both into each other, so we know it's going to work out differently. Yeah, right. They're going to go back to each other. But... I'm like, that's the biggest piece of conflict we have. Like, and I think you're right in that it's, we have opportunities where it's like, there could be conflict. Like, we could see them, discussing more things or showing what they have opinions on that are different from each other.
Right.
But we never even get there. And so I think the one thing that I'm okay with is that it is just a weekend. It is very much like a fling to start with. So it makes me curious about like what would come next. Like if there was like more to the story. Then what? Yeah. But I mean, obviously it's a novella, so it's like we don't have that opportunity.
Yeah,
so.
But I also don't think it was realistic for the timeline. I mean, you have one weekend and everything is peachy and roses and rainbows. Like, you know, they were honeymooning and like soaking it all
for
up.
sure. It's totally like, a honeymoon weekend.
Yeah. But and then they have like 2 years at the end. You know, like 2 years goes by. So I just feel like maybe the conflict like was for them and not for us.
Yeah, it's true. You know? Yeah, well, and you know what? Some people I'm sure are okay with that. Like I'm like I want it to be messy. I want it to be messy and everybody like fight about.
I'm definitely Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like let's go, let's get it.
Yeah, I want you to fight, but I also want you to work out your problems like adults. Right. You know, so I feel like I'm not asking for too much, but
you actually person and communicate and be reasonable, Kelly? Are you
what?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean it's definitely that's the perfect way to describe it. I feel like is like it's like a honeymoon. It's the honeymoon weekend, you know, and
they were just smitten. It was so. Yeah, I think that was my biggest frustration is that it was super cheesy and like middle school, high school, like delivery, you know, like in terms of like, oh my gosh, he likes me, like, how far can I go? Can I be real? Can I not? Right. And like just jumping on each other.
Which I guess is okay for like a Valentine's Day story. Yeah. Like I'm like, okay, it's cute. You know, it's kind of like when we read a lot of the Boobsmas Christmas books where they would be these shorter novellas and a lot of them would be very cute, wrapped up with a bow, no conflict, like, oh, everybody gets a happy ending. I'm like, that's great. But like, I feel like it's worth so much more when you see the struggle to get there. Right. And it's like, I'm not talking about people dying or like fucking Les Mis out here, you know, like, but... You know, I want to see you earn your ending, and
thank you.
Like, so has a haircut gone wrong in the bathroom, and he's just like, "This bitch just messed up my hair." Like, you gotta like love her through that.
I want to see her like accidentally mess up his hair, and he's like freaking out, but then is like, "Oh, you know what? It's just hair. It's okay." Like,
and I said, "Yes," you know, like,
At least even the littlest of fights about like what movie to watch on Netflix. Like, you like what movie? Oh, I bet like it doesn't need.
I mean, there was a little conflict with there though. In that regard, they had conflicting interests. It took them a minute to decide on what to watch actually because she.
But if that's their
they were like
biggest problem, especially because like when we come into it, I get what you're saying though, Cambria, and it's like when you come into it. And you already, you know, they say like it's going to be a one night stand kind of thing. But they spend this entire weekend together and they're constantly saying to each other as well as to themselves, like, this is it. It's one more day. The book is called Just One More. And you're like, okay, just one more day, just one more hour together. Great.
Just one more round.
Right. There will always be just one more. But I mean, I kept wondering, I'm like, why do they keep like writing this off? Like, what is it? Because I guess what it was I was looking for there to be like excuses of like, oh, he keeps showing me signs like why we can't be together. Or, oh, she keeps doing things that are, this will never work between us. And then it would make more sense to me of like, why they're so focused on like, okay, that's why this needs to end, sort of thing. But we never really saw that. Like they were so chummy, which I'm like, oh, you guys are cute. They almost felt more to me like friends, like besties. But I mean, I guess that's what you look for in a partner is like, you know, someone you love, but you can also
I didn't know why
fuck.
They were being so scared about it because I was all, you guys know, I didn't see the mixed signals on my end. I was like, you guys, why can't we talk about this? We can't talk about that we want to be together for a long time. Like, I felt like that didn't make any sense to me because I was like, I don't see that you guys clash even a little bit.
Yeah, what's wrong, you know?
I was all, why are there questions? Like, we're both, I don't know.
Right.
That was confusing to me. I was like,
But I mean, we all get wrapped up in our heads regardless.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But
But even then, it's like they weren't getting wrapped up in their heads about anything other than this isn't, we're not going to be together. We're not going to, and I'm like, why? Why aren't you going to be together? Why isn't this, you know? So like, I thought it was very sweet. I thought it was very cute. I really did like each of them and that they were both about Valentine's Day for like different reasons. he's a barber, she's a tattoo artist. I'm like, that's sick. Like, first of all, I don't see...
Can you imagine power couple, hello?
Oh my God, they'd be so gorgeous.
That child is just going to be set. Like,
oh God, they'd be so beautiful together. And I'm like, oh, amazing hair, amazing tattoos.
Like, they could literally open up their own damn salon.
Yeah.
Like,
that would go.
Right.
That would
is
be
that
amazing.
the second book, Jodie? Hold on, wait.
Right.
I mean, power couple for days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting too is it's really just the two of them for like the bulk of the story, which I guess for a novella is like okay. Like we don't expect there to be a lot of time spent other places.
I thought the interactions with the friends were realistic. It was like a nice exchanges, you know.
Oh, especially her and her friends. I was like,
I was
like,
you're still at this guy's place?
Yep. That's what was crazy to me is that I felt like I knew her friend's personality way more than I knew hers.
Damn, that's interesting.
And because the other one, she has such a specific voice and a point of view, and I was I know exactly who that friend is. Yeah. But I wanted that same specificity with Whitney's voice and with Vic's voice too. I feel like I wanted to know more. I was like what
that's
kind
such
of person
a
are
thing
you?
In like not just like in this book, but in movies, in TV shows, in books in general. That's a thing
fair.
where there's like the best friend that's like the quirky, hilarious, dirty talking friend. And then the main character is usually like the straight man, the straight, you know, where they're just like...
I mean, Grease, Rizzo, and...
No, my mind just went to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
I love that you went to How to Lose a Guy and you went to Grease.
Yeah.
But like, for real. But you know what? Even in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, like, she's got some spunk to her.
Oh,
she
but that's
does,
Kate
yeah. But I would...
Grease,
Matthew McConaughey. That's just two charming
I mean, Grease,
people.
like, we're talking about fucking Sandy who's like the most boring individual on the planet.
Rizzo and Frenchie, and what's that girl who's always, she has like 20 boyfriends?
Marty.
Like, each one of them, I'm like, they are specific.
Yeah.
As females.
Yeah.
And Sandy's just like, hi, I'm from Australia. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Did
like,
you guys ever perform Grease?
Yeah.
My high school did.
Okay.
I was not in Grease.
I was in Grease, and I was Jan. I was the one who, like... They literally gave me a prop that was an empty box of Twinkies to just, like, carry around with me.
Oh, my God.
But I auditioned for Rizzo because every woman wants to play Rizzo. And then I got Jan. Jan was great. But I'm just, like, literally every single song that the Pink Ladies are in, Sandy sits at like a picnic table.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like she doesn't do shit in the whole show. And when she does, it's that she stands up and sings a pretty song and that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
No.
Ugh.
So that's fair.
So basically we're saying that Whitney was the Sandy.
Whitney was Sandy for me.
Got it.
Because I'm sitting here like, she's dope. Like, she's a tattoo artist. She's got a piercings on her nipples. And I'm like, but like, all of the facts about her were so much more spicy than like the
her
words
personality.
that came out of her mouth. I was all... Okay, I don't know where this girl is coming from.
No, that's fair. I think that's totally fair.
And she likes cupcakes. I need to know more about you than the fact that you're obsessed with these cupcakes.
Like, tell me where this came from, you know, like why. I will say, I thought it was cute that like she's a tattoo artist. She's got pierced nips. She's covered in ink. But you don't see that at all in the beginning. Like, you don't see that until her clothes come off because they even go to dinner and he's like, you're a tattoo artist? Like, because she says, guess what I do. And he's like kindergarten teacher? Like, which I'm like, why is that always the go-to guess? Like, but yeah. And so when she takes it off, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool though, that we didn't just see her like all tats, you know, and then the more layers came off, I'm like, oh, bitch, and you got nipples pierced? Like, shit. Like, okay. So, yeah, I think she looked cool. You're right. She had all the flavor, but, like, we didn't maybe get enough of that in, like, what she said and, like, what she did and everything. That's fair. How about Vic?
That deep-ass voice.
The deep-ass voice. Vic, who doesn't have any piercings or tattoos.
No, he has a long, luscious dick.
Okay. That's all you need.
Oh my my God.
Like, literally, when you say Vic, the image comes up because that's all I was fucking reading in that book. It's just like, I felt his member growing.
Okay. And it grows a lot, and she feels it grow a lot.
And it's nice and sturdy, Vic. I see you.
Oh, God. I have to say, I do really appreciate, and maybe this is, again, tapping into, like, how it feels very 2020 of, like, what dating has become. Yeah. I love that they were so transparent about sex.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
that's
just
what I'm
that
saying.
It was so
refreshing.
out there. Just, like, in front of everything. Just, like, yeah, this is what, we're going to do this. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
But they, like, jumped straight into, like, relationship sex. Like, that shit was crazy. Like, it wasn't awkward. It was just, like, like, all that shit that you, like, grow into with your person.
Yeah, because the first time they fuck is in front of the mirror.
Right.
I was like, ooh, that's deep. Right. On so many levels. Right. God. Yeah. He's always very, like, I feel like I would almost call him the submissive one in the relationship. Oh, yeah, because he's always asking her, like, what is it that you want? Do you want us to do this? Do you want us to do this? And so
that's where we got the most specific with their personalities, honestly, was
in the bedroom.
Having sex.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is who you are. Which is why I'm like, if that's the intention, then fine. But I was like, okay, I guess I see what she was doing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and when it gets into the bedroom, it's spicy.
Okay. Except, like, I kind of read, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it didn't seem like any of their sessions, like, lasted long.
Oh my
god.
It's
like they got it, but like was it 5 minutes? Was it 2 minutes? Where are you at? Like, where are you at?
Oh gosh. I have to say, I really appreciate how vocal they are in the bedroom. Because my favorite scene, I mean, we can jump into sex terms if we want. But there's so many to choose from. Right. I really like when she blows him, and she's specifically like, I can't think about anything other than sucking you off right now. Oh my God. And I'm just like, ooh, girl. Like, because, the cupcake shop's closed, so that's... Next on the list is the dick.
Since I can't have cakes.
Right. And then even when, I'll just read it for you. So, page 57, for the people that just want to flip to the page. Here we go, because she's talking about his long-ass dick. She also uses the word engulf.
I know.
There's good language in this one. Once he touched the back of my throat, I pulled back. His dick was slick with my spit, which made another pass of my hand along the length that much sweeter. Taking him back in my mouth again, I bobbed my head in earnest. I know, I keep... I, have this simultaneous image of, bobbing for apples, but then also, a buoy on water, just ba-doo, 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 up and down. Neither of which are sexy, but I think it's just that word that kills me. Oh, I bobbed my head in earnest, working his dick with my lips and tongue while using my hand to pleasure what was too much for my mouth because it's big.
Right. It's big.
Vic was incredibly responsive. He felt good and he refused to keep it from me. Love it. When sharp curses weren't escaping his lips, his moans were. They were deep and guttural and so fucking sexy that they made my pussy hum between my legs.
Yes, ma'am.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if I've read any humming pussies before. I'm telling you, this book is opening up my eyes to so many new experiences. Just a little bit further, because now we're getting into the dialogue.
Yes.
I moved faster when a hand touched the back of my head. Not pushing, but steadying. Fuck, you look pretty with that dick in your mouth, Whit. Can you look up at me, please? I want to see those pretty eyes while I fill that mouth. I didn't reply, instead locking my eyes with his before pulling back to wet him up some more, making his dick sloppy. His pupils were big and dark, and his jaw was clenched so tight I thought it might shatter if he wasn't careful. That's right, spit on it, Vic urged. Work me just like that, baby. Make me come all down that pretty throat.
Yep.
All right. You tell. Yeah.
Well
he does
done,
say
Maya.
I'm about to come, so he gives her a nice little warning.
Yes, very good.
Which is admirable. Thank you,
Right.
Vic. Men out there.
And he wants her to look at him while it's happening. I'm like, okay, again, we're connecting. This is not first date blowjob.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they jump right in.
Cares
You are
about the
right.
lies.
Yeah. How about you guys? Did you have a favorite scene?
Sexually?
I mean, if you have a different scene, that's fine. But as far as the sex groups go, because there's so many to choose from that I feel like we'd be doing ourselves and our listeners a disservice if we didn't.
Right?
Okay, so the mirror one was cool. I'm trying to think of one that happened later.
I was interested in the fact that they both were able, as grown-ass adults, to still come from dry sex. Like, we can talk about that scene because, dry humping, he was like, I forgot how good this shit is. She's like, I know, right?
By the way, I think dry humping is like making a comeback in romance novels.
Really?
A comeback. Because
unintended.
I feel like there's been at least 2 or 3 books I've read just this year where there's been a dry humping scene. Like, and I don't know if it's just like the idea of like, kind of like, let's take it back to like this innocent, like teenager love sort of thing, because they're grown ass adults.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it's like a popular thing, which
that is crazy.
I'm like, okay, like I'm not opposed, I don't know.
Do we ever get their ages?
Like that.
I'm trying to remember.
Early 30s, personally.
30s? Okay.
I could see like mid to late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. Well, we could go with the most popular romance age nowadays, which is 28, which I know because ever since I turned 28, every fucking book I read, the girl is 28.
28, got it.
God, I'm just like, I feel targeted.
Yeah, it just read really young for me, like all the way through, like just innocent puppy love.
Right.
And when it got to that scene, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, you.
If he really liked you, he would have gotten you a cupcake.
Okay.
4 actually.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? That is cute in the end. Like, I was wondering how they were going to wrap it up in the end. I was like, either we're going to like bookend this and end up back in an Uber, or somebody's got to get cupcakes. I was like, it better be her because I'm going to be pissed if it's not. I thought it was going to be like they ran into each other at the bakery, like while they were both getting cupcakes or something. Yeah. But I do like that he goes to get them and then he comes back to the barbershop and she's already there. Which I'm like, that's cute. That's, again, it's very real. I'm like, I can buy in, but yeah, I mean, it is. It's quick love. Although, thank God we don't get to the place, though, where we're like, I'm in love with you. I love you. Yeah. Like, we're going to be together forever. Like, because when that shit happens after, like, a 3-day encounter, it is not for me.
Come on, America.
Yeah, I am not an insta-love person. Yeah. So, not for me. No matter how, their, relationship, sex does seem relationship-y for sure. They're just denying it.
Yeah. Oh, they jump straight to,
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny, too, is like, and then we have the epilogue where it's 2 years in the future? Yeah. And they're not married, right?
I thought they were. Maybe
were they?
Not, I don't know.
I thought they were living together.
Yeah, they live together, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he waited 2
yeah.
years for the tattoo. Like, she's giving him a tattoo. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so we jumped right in, but we waited 2 years for her to, like, tattoo. And you're dating a tattoo artist. Like, so I was like, interesting. Yeah.
She did press him, though, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I've been trying.
Priorities. It's right up there with those cupcakes.
Right. Yeah.
So I know.
That's an interesting point, though, because, if I was dating a tattooed artist, like, mark me up.
I would be covered. Yeah. Well, and like Cambria said, maybe that would be, like, a good thing, we would, to find out about his character is, like, the reason he waited for it, but we don't get that. Like, we don't, I wonder if this book would have been... No, because I think about it, I always wonder with novellas, like, why an author chooses to write a novella as opposed to, like, a full-length novel. But I don't know if I could see this one as a novel. Like, what would happen in the novel version?
I think it works that it's 3 days.
Yeah.
I almost didn't even need the epilogue. I was like...
Right.
Okay. I was
like they get together in the end. Great.
I was like, cool. That's fine. But the 3 days was like... The story about the 3 days. Yeah,
2 years is a long time from now.
Yeah, I was all... And it... But, yeah, I don't know. It was 3 days seems fine because it was very fast-paced. So...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just one
sense.
more.
Not a big novel. It would have been way too much. Like, because what can you fill it in with? It would just be a bunch of
filler.
Yeah,
at least for me, and I'll ask you guys too, because since Krystal was here the last time, we've changed our rating system. So now we're rating books for heart, humor, and heat.
Ooh.
I know, right?
That's cute.
But I can say, and I've only read one other Jodie Slaughter story. So, but I can say, at least for me, having read this one, there's something about her style and her tone that I really like, where I would definitely read more of her work, like based off of this story. Like, because I don't know, it's just so different, I feel like, from what I'm reading, that I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, this is just so, they're not like boring white people. Yeah. So like, that's great. I mean, she's a tattoo artist. He's a barber. This is it right here. Yes, this is the start. Yes. I am here for it. Like the art. Love it. Yes, so much art. Yes. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm at least a fan of Jodie's writing. So I'm like, I'm here for more. But let me ask you guys. So as far as the heart, humor, and heat go, because these are the things I look for in a romance novel. Yeah. What do you want to give it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the very best that it could possibly be, for heart, the heart of the story?
For me, I might give it a 5 or 6.
Okay.
Because for me, like the dialogue, personally, but see, point of view is different. That's what I learned reading this. I think a lot of it had me biased from jump because I realized I don't like point of view. It's really hard for me to like something written by first person point of view.
Oh, interesting.
I realized that reading this, I was all... Because it's hard for me to wrap my head around just this stream of consciousness thinking. Because I'm like, no, we don't think. I was like, I don't think like that. I'll sit there and if I laugh at something, I'm like, I laughed. But I'm not necessarily thinking, oh, that was funny. I just laugh. Or I'm not necessarily thinking, oh, that's beautiful. I'm just like, ooh. And so a lot of that was just over.
And it is a dual point of view too. Like we do see both inside Vic and Whitney. Did you find yourself enjoying or connecting more with like one voice or the other between Vic and Whitney?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
Like the point of view for me, like they work in the sex scenes more because I'm like, ooh, I'm right there and this is happening. Great. Or it just bothered me because I was sitting here like, if I'm literally in your head right now and I still don't know who you are, and like, dang. So that was what was hard for me because I'm sitting like, I'm literally in your head and I don't know.
And you don't know
what your point of view is.
So you were like placing yourself. I mean, you're an actor. It makes sense. You're placing yourself like in the role of what you're reading.
Like, okay, this is their voice. This is their thing, and I still couldn't get a gauge from it. But so that's probably the only reason why I put the heart in that middle ground, because I could tell there was tenderness and everything, but since for me their voices weren't as strong as I would like them to be, it just made me not believe it as much. So that's why I give it a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think that's fine. What do you think?
My mind went to 8. Just because, like, I don't know, I felt like they both wore their hearts on their sleeves. And I feel like the book has a lot of heart. Like, the intent was there, you know? Like, even though it didn't come off,
it's so funny because I totally get both sides of this. I do get that there is, like, this instant connection between them. So I can see it being a higher grade. But then at the same time, I'm with Cambria in that I feel like, to me, it's not really a love story. It's like a lust story that then at the end turns into love, but we don't see the love. We see like the beginning, you know? And so I'm kind of in between. So I mean, if you gave it a 6 and you gave it an 8, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah.
How about the humor rating?
I don't know if I remember a lot of laughing.
Me neither.
See, and I found it so amusing.
Really? Yeah.
Oh shoot, yeah, because I remember I didn't think of it as comedy at all.
Yeah, I didn't think of it as comedy, but I definitely like her with her friends and like the two of them together. I just thought had like really fun kind of like banter. Like not, I mean, like we said, where there wasn't like as much personality, so it's like there could have definitely been more, but I just remember reading it and being like, oh, okay,
yeah.
So,
I'd probably be a solid 5. I'm Switzerland on this one.
Yeah, just like split down the middle. That's fair.
Go down to 0. I'll be that one. I just don't see it. I just really didn't see it.
No comedy for you. You're like, it wasn't funny.
I mean, even when they were high, I was all, I was like, this. You guys think this is people talking like, I don't know. I was just like, I have had way worse conversations. I have literally asked, what is fire?
Well,
and I have asked that question. And I'm like,
there's an opportunity. I mean, when you have something that's like, somebody's drunk or somebody's stoned, I'm like, you're writing an opportunity for them to be as wild as you want.
Could be another moment, you know, you got a little more insight, or maybe they had a goofy or like conflict or something.
I would give it like a 6 or 6.5. Like I'm with you. It's not like a laugh out loud comedy, but there were definitely moments I did find amusing.
I would say the opening scene was funny. Like I remember laughing in the Uber. The whole setup.
It's a
just
great start. Like it's start with a bang for sure. How about Heat? The Heat rating.
I'll give the Heat a 10.
You can't deny. Yeah, no, Dick all day. Like, no, I mean, they sex, baby.
1-0.
Yeah. I'm gonna 10 that shit too.
You're gonna 10 that shit. I gave it a 9, so I mean, we're up there for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, again, it's an erotic story. It's all about the sexual connection. So
at the end of the day, I'm like, fine, it is what it is. But when I'm going to something, I'm like, I need a little bit more balance personally. And it was very, like, once we got to the sex scenes, it was like, okay, we know who we are now. This is who we are. I was like, okay.
This is who we are. This is what we will be doing for the remainder of the story.
It was crazy, though. I don't know how y'all felt, but, like, I definitely thought they were fucking like every 30 minutes. And then at one point in the book, it was like, we fucked 3 times over the course of 3 days. I was like, what? Like,
that's it?
Hold on, though. Because the way the book was set up, though, like, were you rehearsing for a production? Like, do you not count rehearsals?
What do you count? Fucking.
Right. I mean, penetration. I mean, he hit the back of her throat. Like, no.
Yeah. Multiple. I mean, for sure. Her pussy was humming.
Tongue went in, you know? Like,
yeah. No, and you know what? I love variety when it comes to these books, too. I'm like, I don't want just some missionary bullshit. Like, I'm like, that's fine for the first one. Great. But, like, this one, too, the first time they're together, she's like, you know, they're facing a mirror.
Cowgirl,
and I'm just like, wow, that is confidence in the bedroom.
I think Missionary was the last one they did, actually.
I thought that was very interesting.
Starting getting her feels. She's like, I want you to look at me, Vic.
Yeah. I mean, as much or as little as we know about Whitney and Vic, I'm like, I aspire to be them in the bedroom.
Oh, baby, that's confidence.
I'm just like, they walk in there and it's just go time.
I thought that was the sexiest thing, is they were both like, I know who I am and you know who you are. We're going to communicate.
Communication.
It was just so open. I was like, this is good sex 101.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Why isn't this real?
Right.
This is the Valentine's Day story we all need. And deserve.
Right? Yeah. So if you're out there, Vic,
you can find me on Instagram.
But I swear to God, if you don't show up with those cupcakes,
for real,
it's like if I had to choose between Vic and cupcakes, I'm sorry, Vic, you gone.
Oh no, I'm Vic all day. We can cupcakes.
You thinking about this, Cambria? What are you going with, Vic or cupcakes?
I mean, probably Vic. Yeah.
What?
Cupcakes on Vic.
See, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I had some chocolate chip cookies, but I'm like, I've already fulfilled
We
it.
started recording when we were all hungry, took a break for dinner, and now we're all fully sated. So now Cambria's like, well, you know what? I ate. So
see, and I have calories to burn off. Vic, come see me. Help me with this pizza. Like,
I'm gonna stick with the cupcakes. Oh God. Okay. Well, now having read this book, and clearly, you know, this is very well out of the wheelhouse for both of you. Would you read another romance novel?
Yeah. It was easy to read. I flew through it. So even whatever my opinion was, I wasn't dying. Like, it wasn't... Like, for me, Catcher in the Rye, it will always be the worst book I've ever read in my entire life.
Really?
I hate it. I truly hate it. And I respect it, I guess. I don't know. Apparently, it's important.
You're like, I respect it because they told me I'm supposed to.
Yeah, it's a point of view, too. And you know what? It's a first-person point of view, but I hate him. And I hate Holden Caulfield. And the fact that I can't even forget his name. That's how much I hate him.
Once you read Catcher in the Rye, you'll never forget his name.
Forever.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
And so that's why I'm like, it's fine.
Maybe the next romance you read, then you should stay away from the first-person narrative.
Yeah.
Because it seems like if you open that book and it's like, you're going to be like, nope.
We're
done. We're done.
If there aren't quotation marks around the I, don't give it to me. I don't want any,
Oh, God. How about you, Krystal? Another romance for you?
I would. I just don't think I'm the erotica genre.
Okay. So you want more of, like, the romantic connection.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, I've had, thank you. Some pretty nice experiences in my life. So, check. And I don't know. It was just very, like, I don't know. I mean, do you, boo-boo? No judgment. But I'm just not as, like, open and raunchy, I guess, in that regard. You know? So it was like, that works for a lot of people out there. Like, do you, boo-boo? I support you. But, like how you were saying, like, you enjoyed the kind of dirty talk. Yeah. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, that's happening.
You're just like, it's going. Can we move along?
But that's also not me. Like, whenever I see it, or it's come up in conversation, like, when you know somebody, I'm like, I can do without.
When dirty talk comes up at work.
I'm about them actions,
Okay.
So, yeah.
I feel like, now I feel like that we've talked about this and, like, I get a better sense of sort of, like, maybe what would both of you would, like, appreciate more.
Yeah.
So, I'm always happy to make some recommendations.
Yes, girl. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
if there's more describing, paint the picture.
You want, like, a 3D image of his dick.
Yes.
And I want fleshed out characters. I want character development. That's what I want. I want a strong voice on a specific character.
Yeah, okay, you guys are going to be reading different books. I can tell you that right now.
Yes.
Crystal's like, I want 3 pages dedicated to, like, the descriptions of their bodies.
Yes.
And Cambria's like, I just want them to be like human beings.
Right. I'm like, what do you think about this?
Right.
What is your favorite time of the year and why?
Yeah, good. Okay. I like it.
And then show me your dick.
Right. And then we'll get to the dick.
Reasonable.
But until we get to that point, I need to know who you are.
Yes. What is this dick I'm experiencing? What has it been through? What has
it been through?
No, maybe not.
God. I think I want you to write a romance novel. That's what I need.
That will be strange.
Oh my gosh. Well, we will definitely have to find you both, additional supplementary reading to take home. But for the time being, thank you both so much for joining me.
This is so much
and
fun.
Happy Valentine's Day to everyone if that's something, that's
you
for
care
you.
about it, whatever.
Eat them chocolates, get them cupcakes, get that dick.
Drink that wine.
Enough said. Thanks so much for listening. Boobies and Noobies is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts. You can follow Boobies and Noobies on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Boobies Podcast.